We can't get enough of London, her culture, her history, and of course her royal weddings. I'm Carol Yelverton. Welcome to Hungry for Travel TV. We're cooking up a storm with one of London's favorite dishes. It's a curry that's one of London's most popular foods. It's called Tikka Masala, and it is a beautiful chicken dish brimming with warm, bright spices. So let's break it down right now, starting with a spice wheel. The whole idea of a curry is that you're putting a number of different spices together, and a typical curry doesn't have a warm feel to it, but a masala curry does. So we have a bunch of different spices here that are going to kind of combine together, and they're going to make, first, they're going to help us with a tandoori marinade for our chicken, and then we're going to combine them into a garam masala style spice mix that we'll use for our tikka masala. So let's get started first with the chicken. So I have 2 pounds of boneless chicken that I've diced, and I'm going to be putting that in a marinade. Let me put the marinade together for you first so you see how that goes. So I have some safflower oil. Any kind of neutral oil is good for this because it will take on the flavors of the spices and the yogurt and everything else around it. So we wouldn't want to use an olive oil or a highly flavored oil, but safflower oil or grapeseed oil, anything like that is perfect for it. And then we have about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of yogurt. Here we go. I'm going to get that right in there. And then I have lemon juice. And I have some garlic. I am going to have garlic for our other dish too, so I'm going to put some garlic in here, and then I'm going to save this. And I have some salt. And then I'm going to mix this together and turn it into a beautiful marinade. And once I have it mixed together, then I'm going to start to add in some of the spices from our spice wheel that we're going to use to make it all beautiful, okay? So let's just get it all mixed up. So then there's a couple of things we want to make sure that we have in our tandoori marinade. And the first is dried ginger. So that's here on our spice wheel. So I have the ginger up here. This is dried ginger. We're going to put in a good amount. Not too much, but a good amount. And then one of the things that makes this so beautiful is turmeric. So we're going to put some turmeric in, and that's going to give it a really beautiful color, especially when we mix it with the paprika. Then we have some cardamom, which is one of my favorite spices. It's so exotic, and it has this beautiful kind of lemony finish to it. And another favorite is coriander. And the seeds, when they're just crushed, it's like this beautiful spice. Again, they're very elegant, very refined spices, and they're fantastic. And then, of course, cumin. It seems like we use cumin in almost every dish I make here, but so many countries love cumin in their cooking, and so it's a really great flavor element. So we'll put cumin in, and then again, we're going to add some paprika for color and flavor. Now, paprika is a pepper, but it's so mild that you don't even know that it's a pepper. But we're going to add that, and then we'll mix it all together. And you can see over here, I'll show you, I'm going to mix it together here for you to see that it is turning into this really beautiful color. And we're going to see that on the chicken. Okay, so we have that mixed up. And the lemon juice and the yogurt and the garlic and all these spices coming together, you know, it smells really, really good already. So here I have my 2 pounds of chicken. I'm going to put this over here for a minute. I'm just going to add these in. And then I'm going to mix it all together. And I'm going to marinate this at least a couple hours. I like to marinate it 24 hours. Typically, maybe the night before I'll put it in, or the morning that I'm going to make it, because it just gets in there, and you really want to give this time to sink into the dish. So once that's marinated, then you can put it on skewers and grill it until you have like a nice kind of a finish where there's a little char on it. But a lot of us don't have barbecues or want a barbecue, and you can just run it under the broiler. Now, your broiler is different from my broiler, so the idea here is to let it go in on a rack. I usually use like a sheet pan with a rack. I put the chicken on, and then I let it broil until the top gets kind of a blistered look to it. Now, this is kind of our finished product of what I've done. And then what I do is I just turn it over, and I let the other side get a little char on it. Not too much. We don't want it to burn, but we just want to get a little char on it. So, and look at the color. I mean, is that a beautiful color? So this is our chicken for our tikka masala. And now we're going to go and get our masala sauce made. So the first thing we're going to do is take some onions. And we've already pre-cooked these a little bit, thanks to my friend Betty, who's helping me today. And so these are all softened up. And I really, it's always good to just make sure that your onion can soften, get a little golden. It releases the sugars, and it just is a much, much better product. Then we're going to take our garlic. I'm going to put a bunch of garlic in, actually. This is about 2-3 cloves of garlic. And then, of course, when you put the garlic in the pan with the oil and it starts to heat up, it's just a thing of beauty, right? So that's going to come together. We'll let that cook up. And then I'm going to add just a touch of sugar. And, you need some sugar in this, but I say go lightly because at the end, what you can do is you're going to taste your finished product. You can always add a little more sugar to it. Another thing I want to put in is fresh ginger. Now, we use dry ginger in our spice wheel for the marinade, but fresh ginger is so nice, and it's so, it just makes it a real difference. It's a real fresh flavor. Now, I don't know if you know this trick. I just want to show this to you. When you have ginger like this and you want to peel it, how do you get this thing off? Take a spoon and make a mark, and you start to peel it, and it starts to come off. And then, once you have it off, then you can just start to dice it. So here I have a good amount of ginger. I'm not going to put all of this in. I'm going to take maybe half teaspoon. I'm going to add that in. And again, once you get these aromas going, they're pretty amazing. So I'm going to increase our heat now. So it really starts to cook, and we're starting to smell the aromas. It smells fantastic. Then I'm going to put in some tomato paste because that's going to really thicken things up. I usually buy the tomato paste that comes just in a tube. It's really easy to use. And then I just put a little bit in, teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. It's concentrated, so I don't use as much as I might, but it makes just a really nice flavor. It really works with all the spices when you put it all together. Then I have some pureed tomatoes. I'm going to add those in. Get that all going. Oh, don't you love that sound when something goes into the pot like that? It just makes this wonderful sound. So now we have our sauce really moving ahead now, and that is going to cook up and cook up and cook up. At this point, we'll add our chicken, all our beautiful chicken, going right in there. I'm going to move this to the side and then keep stirring it just to incorporate everything. So the idea is you're going to let this heat slowly, let the chicken cook. When you take the chicken off the grill or out of the broiler, it doesn't have to be fully cooked because it's going to do the rest of its cooking here. And actually, you want to make sure that it isn't dried out when you get it out of the broiler. So just know you're going to have a second stage of cooking, and the chicken will get cooked and finished there. So at this point, I'm going to give this 15 minutes or so just to come together. And then at the end, we put together the spices for our masala blend. It just tastes better when it comes together at the end. So this is, again, where the fun is going to happen, my friends. We are going to look at our spice wheel. We're not going to use the ginger because we have fresh ginger in it, but we are going to be taking this beautiful turmeric, getting it right in there. Again, we're going to go back to the cardamom because that is so delicious. Again, one of my favorite aromatic spices. Here we have some coriander, so we'll drop some in. And cumin, as always with the cumin, and paprika, and we can get a good amount of paprika in here. I'm going to put a little bit more in. Again, it adds a beautiful color and a nice rich flavor that is very, very enjoyable. So now we come to the part where the tikka masala emerges from a typical curry in the fact that we're going to be bringing in some aromatic components to it. So we're going to start with ground cloves. And again, when you taste this with the cloves in it, it's just amazing. It tastes so good, so rich and exotic and mysterious. So we have about a teaspoon of cloves that went in, and then cinnamon, beautiful, beautiful cinnamon is going to go in. And again, the cinnamon, everybody loves cinnamon. It's just got that, again, the warmth and just that lovely flavor. So then we're going to talk about heat a little bit. So black pepper goes into this too. So I've got a teaspoon of black pepper I'm going to put in. Maybe I'm going to put in a little less, because we also have cayenne pepper. And again, there are all kinds of peppers you can use in Indian cooking. Again, this dish originated in India, but it's been around in London for hundreds of years. So I just have some cayenne here. And again, I know not everybody's a heat freak. So I've got a little bit of cayenne. I'm going to put it in here. And again, put in as much as you like. Taste as you go. Don't put too much in at the very beginning because you can end up with it being too hot. So taste as you go. And again, sometimes we're cooking for the people around us too, and not everybody likes the heat. So a lot of times I'll just put some cayenne on the table or some hot sauce, and people can help themselves because I have some family members who they're into the heat big time and others who aren't. So this is cooking, cooking, cooking. It's all smelling delicious, and I can just, the garam masala and the spices, oh my gosh, it's all coming together. And so to finish this off, when it's all done and it's ready to go, we take some cream. So after about 15 minutes, we'd put it in, but I'm going to put it in now just to show you. And then that's going to change the color. It's going to change the finish, the texture of the sauce. It's going to add a richness and a smoothness to the tikka masala that really is going to set it off in a wonderful, wonderful way. So we stir that all together. And then that is going to be our beautiful, beautiful tikka masala. And I'm going to put some more paprika in because I want some more red color. And I really get it from the paprika. So we're going to add some more of that, get that in there. And then let's take a look at our finished product. It is smooth, it is delicious. I love the play of orange and white in this bowl with that cilantro garnish running down the middle. It's just so much fun when you fold the tikka masala into the rice. So between the tangy tandoori and the warm masala sauce, these flavors are incredibly vibrant and they're tangy. And they have that cool silkiness from the cream that just finishes this off. It almost feels like it's melting in your mouth when you taste it. This is just the beginning, though. There are lots more wonderful foods to discover. Just take a look at London's food scene. London is open. Afternoon tea is a must-do there. Here's a look at how elegant it is. And then check out a cooking class where students are learning how to create decadent and scrumptious tea treats themselves.
One of my passions is really to surprise the customer and to surprise the guests. So we always looking to play with different flavor, different texture, different type of items. I love to surprise our guests with special creation made of classic ingredients but with a little twist.
From the moment you walk through the doors, it is like a luxury palace. You walk in, you can feel the luxury. You listen to the beautiful music, you taste the beautiful food, you smell the beautiful flowers, you're well taken care of. The music hasn't stopped, it just tinkles in the background as you enjoy your luxurious afternoon tea.
We put a lot of love on the creation of our afternoon tea to treat them with the best quality they could expect from a five-star hotel in London.
At every stage there's a new surprise. It really is the most fabulous treat, something people should do more often.
It's just really nice to be able to make that moment special for them.
The flavours of everything that we cook at Cookery School are really wonderful.
At home, I adore trying to recreate what I found in restaurants or bakeries. It makes me very happy.
It has to look pretty and it has to be delicious, but it has to have that kind of refined look and feel and taste to it. So hopefully that's what we'll be recreating in these tarts today.
Fresh ingredients, local ingredients, like the flour we get comes straight from the mill, the eggs come straight from the farm, the butter, it's really good old-fashioned proper food.
It's just the smell of everything, it just smells amazing. It's hard not to lick your fingers.
It If you use wonderful ingredients, you get wonderful food.
Oh, I love London. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Carol Yelverton, and until I see you again, stay hungry for travel.